This episode of the Citation Needed podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones with some exciting news. Open booking is here for the Top Shelf Country Cruise, setting sail February 2026 aboard the luxurious Celebrity Reflection. Spots are filling up fast, so book your stateroom today or sign up to become a lineup insider to receive the final lineup 48 hours prior to the public. Don't miss your chance to make February 2026 unforgettable. Visit TopShelfCountryCruise.com. That's TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
Hey, guys.
Look at us!
Oh, Jesus, what is that?
See? Told you they'd be jealous.
What is that body paint?
Ooh, I want some. I want some body paint.
Yeah, Eli and I were at the old hospital, like betting on stuff that I could lift. And we found this stuff. It's just inside an old x-ray machine or something.
I would no longer like some.
I'm a dancer.
Oh, that's radium.
Yeah, that's totally radium. They're dead. I mean, we're all dead.
Look at him, though. He's glowing.
I glow from the dance. We could use this paint to get best friend tattoos.
We are not best friends.
Cecil, I know you're jealous because you didn't find glowy blue stuff, but don't lash out. I'm willing to share, okay?
Yeah, I think I'm going to smoke more.
You know, I haven't had one in 20 years. Can I borrow one?
Yeah.
Go, Eli. Go, Eli. It's your birthday.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single Wikipedia article about it, and pretend we're experts because this is the internet and that's how it works now. I'm Eli Bosnick and I'll be your guide through this week's rabbit hole, but because reading a whole Wikipedia article every week is a lot to ask, we'll be dividing the work up 5 ways. So joining me from the best city in the world to pan for lead, please welcome Tom and Cecil.
Welcome to the lead rush town of West Englewood. It's like Deadwood with more dead.
Less wood.
Consuming lead has shown to increase violent behaviors, mood swings, and decrease intellect. Suddenly, a lot of things are making sense to me right now.
And joining me from the worst city in the world to have a weakness for bread, please make some noise for Heath Enright and No Illusions.
Thanks, Eli. I once coughed near your friend who has celiac, and he started to shrivel up like I was Rogue stealing his power. I have a lot of bread in me. Is that a city problem or a national problem? Look, America isn't first in many categories anymore, but at least we're still the most in bread.
Indeed.
Bread.
Take that, Africa. All right, gentlemen, we're about to drop some knowledge. But before we do, I want to thank our Patreon supporters for making this show possible. If you want to know how to join their ranks, stick around to the end of the show. And with that out of the way, Cecil, tell us what person, place, thing, event, concept, or phenomenon brings us together today.
This is going to be our first listener-suggested topic, Eli, so thanks to Patrick for recommending it. Today, we're going to be talking about the Goiânia incident.
Glad you were the first one to pronounce that. And Noah, since I condemned you to do it last week, you get to do all the work. You read the Wikipedia article on the Goiânia incident. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. And a note on pronunciation. All of the different pronunciation guys seem to disagree about it, but Goiânia seemed to be the...
I think it's Vianya.
Whatever.
So,
you put a jade egg up there, right? That's all I know. You put a jade egg in there, tighten it right in.
Yeah, so the key here, though, is that this is the perfect subject for the show, no matter how it's pronounced. There's historical significance for Cecil, a cunning heist for Heath, gross incompetence for Tom, and for Eli, there's a little girl who dies in a tragic and painful way. It's got something for everyone.
You do read the suggestion box. So without further ado, what is the Coachella accident?
I didn't read that article, but the Goiânia accident was a radioactive contamination accident that occurred in 1987 in Brazil. Over 200 people were exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. 4 people were killed, and it's been called by the International Atomic Energy Agency, quote, one of the world's worst radiological incidents, end quote.
Well, that sounds pretty tubular to me, so why haven't we heard of it?
Because it happened in a brown people country, Eli, and neither our media nor our educational system talks about those things.
Well, to be fair, though, really good brown people. Brazilians are like the Aryans of South America. They're crushing it. So I guess it's a cunning heist and eugenics for Heath. Happy day.
I would like to sell a race war home game as merch.
No, we keep saying no.
It could work. It'd be like Settlers of Catan, except there would just be one deck of bricks that you throw at each other.
Am I the only one that's just stuck thinking about Brazilians? I can't be the only one with my pants off already, right? It's just
nope. You're not, Tom.
Not just you.
You are not. So this was another nuclear meltdown thingy, something like Chernobyl?
Tom with his pants off or the Goiânia accident?
I was talking about the Chinois accident.
No, it was actually way stupider than that.
Oh, did an old lady pour radiation all over her thighs and blame McDonald's?
No, it was even stupider than an inside crossover multi-podcast joke on our first publicly available episode. So
get with it, people. I've been here for a while. I've been out here for a minute.
Our story actually begins when the Instituto Goiano de Radioterapia is abandoned. Now,
fucking nailed that.
Oh, why? Thank you.
Nailed that.
My Portugarican is pretty good. So this private radiotherapy institute moves to a new location, and due to a dispute about whether they or their landlord owns the 1977 cesium-137 based teletherapy unit, it gets left behind at the old premises.
All right, and I'm guessing King Solomon got involved.
That's close. That's close, actually.
Now, Noah, I obviously already know what a 1977 Coliseum-137-based telepathy unit is, but for the folks at home who are less smart than me, what that?
Hold on, before that, for the folks at home, how's telepathy spelled?
Or Coliseum.
Behind the scenes for you here. T-E-L-A Pathy.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so this unit, which is designed to irradiate humans, contains a radioactive substance.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me go ahead. I got to take notes. The radiating thing contains radioactive stuff. All right, duly fucking noted, guys.
You would be amazed how many lives you could save. Yeah, you're going to need that note for later in the story. All right, so this one in particular contained a capsule of about 93 grams of highly radioactive cesium chloride, which is housed in a container made of lead and steel.
All right, we each get half the coat hangers, half a baby, and half the radioactive poison. We split it into 2 baggies. We have these baggies, and we'll split it, and it's fair.
Again, that's really close to the way this story ends. So, what you down to the half a baby and everything? Yeah. So the canister with the cesium chloride sits on a wheel that can be spun around to open it up when you want the deadly radiation pointed out, but normally it's the other way in a safe housing.
Technically, the name is the Wheel of Misfortune.
I bet it is.
It always lands on bankrupt. What? No, that's in America. We don't have insurance.
I'd like to buy a neutron pack.
And Noah, tell us, aside from the ability to do whatever a spider can, why would someone want deadly radiation pouring out?
That's how radiation therapy. You're allowed to read off of Tom's notes. You know that, right?
You're overestimating how much I read or know about radiation therapy.
Look, let's just be honest. If you're at a place in your life where you're getting radiation therapy, the fact that something is deadly ceases to be quite so meaningful.
Right. Now, okay, to be fair, the Brazilian courts were well aware that they had disputed ownership of a radiological disaster on their hands. So they did take the step of posting a single security guard at the facility. So less than you'd need a corral the shoppers at Northland Mall.
Okay, but I'm sure he was a master of dance fighting, right? And that's guaranteed. And crowd control is all about spinny kicks.
That's what I learned from the
Let's
80s.
not make up problems before we get there, Noah.
Fair enough. Meanwhile, the owners of the machine wrote several letters to the National Nuclear Energy Commission telling them maybe not to keep 93 grams of cesium chloride in an abandoned building.
Oh, okay. Wait. No, now we have two. Now we have a strongly worded letter and a rent-a-cop. So
Yeah.
the machine was clearly owned by the UN.
Congolese didn't find that funny.
Okay, I feel like I see where this is going. The security guard became the Hulk.
That's not.
That's Jurassic Park.
The Hulk was a dinosaur. Yeah, read a
He
comic.
came closer to becoming a dinosaur than the Hulk,
A
but
T-Rex guarded it.
Man.
That's not even a theme to anything. That's not even a theme to anything.
Sort of Back to the Future, which doesn't make any sense anyway.
you've just ruined like 4 movies for me. So yeah, no, actually, rather than turning into the Hulk or a dinosaur, the security guard went off to take a shit or something because he's only one guy. And single-man security teams can be thwarted by the squirts.
But hold on, for capoeira security guards, that's helpful, right? I mean, I'm confused. I feel like that would help.
Propulsion. Yeah, no. So
Spinny kicks.
So while he's gone, 2 thieves break in. This was on September 13th of 1987, and they figured since there was a guy, guarding this building, there must be something pretty valuable in there. So they broke in, partially disassembled the teletherapy unit, loaded the scraps into a wheelbarrow, everything they could carry, and then took it out. Yes, a wheelbarrow.
Getaway car's a rickshaw.
Yeah, that's right.
Not a great sign for fucking Oceans 2. Whatever this was.
I just appreciate that they brought the wheelbarrow to the robbery. I mean, so much depends on it. So few robbers remember to bring a wheelbarrow. I mean, you guys, for real, like, you ever try to carry a treasure chest? Throw your back out, man. Remember, steal with your legs.
If you learn anything from this show.
I'm still stuck up on this guy takes shit so long that they have enough time to disassemble a nuclear device? Jesus, get a squatty potty for Christ's sake.
Well, this is in Brazil, Cecil. I thought I mentioned.
Oh, so he was squatting
duct
already.
tape.
Okay, no, the squatty potty's useless down there. They just go in a hole, so it's
Dig
fine.
a deeper hole.
Yeah.
How would that help?
So I just want to declare, starting right now in the story, this is everyone's fault. General show rule: I refuse to sympathize with national disasters that begin with nobody knew what the fuck they were doing and then someone committed crimes.
Mr. President, is there any financial connection between you and Russia? Or is that not? Why are you closing the door, Mr. President? Why are you walking away, Mr. President?
All right, let's talk about something a little less depressing. Radioactive death. So,
like a radiological disaster that kills a little girl.
yeah, exactly, if you don't mind. So that night, these 2 guys, Roberto dos Santos Alves and Wagner Moda Pereira, they started more thoroughly dismantling the equipment they'd stolen, even after they both started to spontaneously vomit a lot.
I love it. Famous Brazilian work ethic. Don't stop until you've stripped everything bare.
So the next day, Pereira starts to get dizziness, diarrhea, and unexplained swelling on his left hand.
Wait, the left hand? Yeah, that would make me worry.
Yeah, right.
That'd be weird if it was left hand.
And eventually,
You ever try to do it lefty? It's fucking impossible.
nothing's impossible. I had a cast as a child.
I do the stranger. I'll do but I have to do it righty. Otherwise, you miss. You don't even
Here
know.
I
It's
am
ridiculous.
cutting this sideline off just a little too late. And so now, eventually this swelling on his left hand turns into a burn that just so happens to be the same size and shape as the aperture of that little spinny wheel of death he found.
He just walks in with a skull-shaped burn on his chest. Okay, fine. Let's go on WebMD, see what's up.
It says here I'm diagnosed with supervillainosis, and my superpowers are dying very soon.
Yeah, not giving much of a fuck about politics.
That's my superpower.
You know, ironically, the cure is actually radiation therapy, but it's homeopathic radiation therapy, so, much safer.
Yes.
Much safer.
Yeah, it's just swimming in Japan. Homeopathic radiation therapy. You just go swimming anywhere in Japan.
So the next day, this guy heads to the clinic. They diagnose it as food poisoning. Says a lot about Brazilian cuisine, and then they send him home.
You ever had Brazilian food, Noah? You might as well order the elephant's foot straight to your colon.
You guys remember that time you ate a bad taco and then your hand caught on fire, right? No?
Right.
No?
Right.
I mean, how do you even walk out of that doctor's office tking that dude just fucking nailed it? Like, oh, hey, I'll be fine. Turns out it's food poisoning. Oh, the burn on your hand is food poisoning. Oh, yeah. Fuck it. Good enough for me.
I mean, I'm no doctor.
Oh, we are just opening up this can of stupid and taking a sniff, guys. So meanwhile, the guy's body continues dismantling the parts that they stole, convinced that he's going to make it to the Tootsie Roll Center eventually.
And then I guess sell it at a farmer's market out of their fucking wheelbarrow. What are they thinking they're going to do? We got corn and cesium. And Monsanto was born.
Blue Apron.
To be fair, though, after enough exposure, the number of licks it takes to get to the gooey center greatly diminishes.
I use that excuse with my wife all the time. So after 3 full days of fucking with this thing, Alvis manages to puncture the capsule with a screwdriver. What? So, yeah, right. Just cannot give this up. I'm not dead yet, so I'm still going. Now, when he does this, it gets so much worse.
What the fuck is in this thing?
So why do they put all this leather
so
around?
wonderful.
It's like they
It
don't
must be
want
something
me in
good.
here. Yeah. So he punctures the hole. He sees a deep blue light emanating from the hole. Now, figuring this must be the good shit, he scoops some out. I shit you not on this one. And tries to light it on fire.
You know what they say? If it burns, it earns.
I guess that's what they say.
Yeah. I admire anybody whose first instinct when they encounter the unknown is to set it on fire.
You're the reason the Sasquatches won't come near us anymore, bro.
Like they show up on the fucking Galapagos for the first time, just lighting tortoises aflame. Like, I don't know what it is. Burn it all.
I wonder when he first scooped it. I wonder if he thought it was Baskin Robbins prototype 30-second flavor. Blueberry Italian isotope.
Oh, don't ruin the ending. So now the article says that he tried to light it on fire because he thought it was some kind of gunpowder. Why would that make you more likely to set something on fire because you thought it was going to explode? Is that your question?
What did he think the machine was for? Just shooting people? I don't understand.
Anyway, so it won't light on fire. So I guess it's worthless to this guy. So now he sells the whole mess to a nearby scrapyard.
What? Now, and they bought it? They were like, what's this? Yeah, we need a bluey, glowy metal thing. Yeah, we don't have any of those left. People have been asking for that shit. What?
So, okay, now this is where Pereira and Alvis exit the story. So don't let me neglect to mention that Pereira had several fingers amputated as a result, and Alvis ended up losing a whole arm. So kids at home, fishing through radioactive isotopes isn't all just fun and profit. All right, so here's where this story gets stupid.
Right now?
Wait. This is the stupid part.
All right, everybody get ready for the dumb part.
So the owner of the scrapyard is walking around the next night, and he notices the same blue glow that got Alvis so excited. And he, of course, assumes it's supernatural. So he brings it inside, invites all his friends to come play with it. Hey, guys, check out this strange glowing substance that fell from space into my fucking scrapyard.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Seriously, do they not even have schools in Brazil, like anywhere? Not even one? Because I have a 10-year-old that wouldn't behave like this. And he's not particularly precocious.
All right. Well, I, for one, am dying to know how you're going to turn this around for a happy ending.
No.
But before we finish the story off, we need to take a quick break for everyone's favorite mid-episode interruption, apropos of nothing.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, settle down. My name is Jose Gina More, and as you can tell, we are not able to tell the difference between a Portuguese and a Mexican accent.
Meta.
Or French.
Yeah.
Or French, or kind of Italian, actually. So.
Or Chicago.
You're doing very terrible accent.
So it's been a tough week for all of us, but there are two people here who would like to tell us something. Roberto Wagner?
Hello.
Hi.
We just want to say that we're very, very sorry for stealing that poison radiation stuff and opening it and getting everyone sick.
Are bad. 100%.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare.
Okay. Let's settle down. Let's hear them out here.
Practicing that line for so long.
Okay. I have a tumor the size of a football growing out of the size of my head because of these assholes.
Hey.
This was a bad idea.
Okay, that's enough. Wagner and Roberto made a mistake. They are very sorry. There is no need for abuse. Now they have the glowing speaking stick, and when it's your turn, you can talk.
I'm sorry, the glowing speaking stick.
Yeah, I found it by the dump. It's cool looking, right? It has this cool symbol all over it.
Ah, yellow and black.
Motherfuckers. We're back for the other half of the show. When we last left off, Noah was telling us about a bunch of backward Brazilians playing cranium with radioactive isotopes. And I believe I was promised the tragic death of a little girl in here somewhere.
Jesus Christ, you fucking cool.
That's right, Eli, you were. So when we last saw our radioactive source, it was being gawked at for 3 days by the friends of this scrapyard owner. This guy's name is Dever Alves Ferreira, not Pereira, Ferreira. One of these friends even managed to pry a couple of rice-sized grains of the glowing material from the capsule.
And eat it.
You've been paying attention. No, it's actually even stupider. He started sharing them with all his friends and family so even more people could die, even after his wife started coming down with radiation poisoning.
Look, this is seriously the most purposeful accident story, right? Ever. At every moment, someone has to go out of their fucking way to be radioactivated, right? Like, seriously. Like, I admire the tenacity of this stupidity.
That's why I love this fucking story. Just when you think you've reached the solid floor, you're like, wow, this is like the Trump administration. Since the scrapyard dude's brother, Ivo, also went scraping around in that cesium capsule with a screwdriver, and wouldn't you know it, he came up with some really cool looking dust.
Sweet.
So he says, you know where this would look good? My kitchen. Bet my wife and 6-year-old daughter would love a nice shiny blue dusting of nuclear cancer on the floor.
What the fuck? I'm trying to think of how they could possibly handle this worse. Like, snortable autism cure and just like tell Jenny McCarthy about it. Like, feed it to rhesus monkeys. How do you make it worse?
Put it on a tasting menu.
Explode some over Japan.
So now, as it happens, the wife and daughter did love the dust, so much so that the little girl even dusted her own body with it so she could play Smurf Noble or something. Needless to say, as he dies with laughter, that this little girl is one of the incident's 4 fatalities. Though, to be fair, coroners weren't really sure if the cesium she rubbed on her skin got her or if it was the bit that she consumed in the sandwich she was eating when Dad started sprinkling around fairy dust. So what I'm saying is that like the fact that she rubbed it on her body may not be that tragic because she was going to die anyway. Might as
isolate
well
a variable.
die glowing, right?
Fuck. Pay attention. Do an experiment, fucking 6-year-old girl. Isolate a variable. Jesus.
See, now I understand why they call this the quinoa incident instead of the Three Stooges eat poison or whatever the fuck they probably should have called it.
All right, so finally, on September 28th, 1987, hey, that's my wife's birthday, more than 2 weeks after the capsule was stolen, the scrapyard dude's wife says, hey, you know, everybody around us has been vomiting and glowing in the dark ever since my husband found that space goo. Maybe I should talk to someone. Now,
2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks.
2 full fucking weeks. And also 2 weeks that this thing has been missing and no one has, gone around looking for it to see, hey, is anybody glowing blue?
That guy is still in the shitter.
Well, to be fair, the heist was a sophisticated wheelbarrow heist.
Well, that's true.
So they probably didn't leave any fucking wheelbarrow clues. There's just one tire leading away.
No license plate for anyone to copy down. Yeah, no.
They switched out the exact amount of cesium like Indiana Jones. But it's fake.
All right, so now, like I said, she did decide to do something about it. Now, if you're thinking what she decided to do was just call somebody, you haven't been paying attention to the theme of this story. No, she gathers up all the radioactive stuff, puts it in a Ziploc baggie,
Really?
so it'll be safe, and then takes it to a crowded hospital so she can ask what the hell it is.
Oh my God.
And the doctors are like, now you have to smoke the whole bag. Deal with it. Learn your lesson.
That trick did not work on Noah. His dad just passed out next to him when he's 9. Pussy.
I feel like if Noah found a baggie of radioactive isotopes, he'd sell them by the half-life.
I learned it by watching you. 235. 235.
Smart
The
joke.
isotope of uranium.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That is fissionable. Also 238 slightly.
Now, as feeble as it sounds, I feel like I should point out that the fact that the source was in a plastic bag did make a huge difference. So contamination at the hospital was pretty low.
It was a huge difference. Instead of instantly shrieking their heads, it just affected their kids.
Right.
That's
Exactly. So, again, kids at home, if you find a glowing blue... All right. So the next day, they figure out what they're dealing with, and by the end of the day, the entire national government is in full response mode.
Anyone else picturing just like Dr. Strangelove in Portuguese? I'm upset too. Well, how do you think I feel? Now you're shouting.
I'm struck again. This is a crisis that was thwarted, at least in part, by a sandwich bag. A sandwich bag.
And doesn't that underscore just how stupid you have to be to have this crisis? Like you were a sandwich bag away from fine. Right? This whole fucking time. At worst.
Just put it in a drawer. And
Great. All you had to do was not do everything they intentionally did.
In that order. Right.
Nothing. Like I just want to emphasize, nothing bad happened to these people. They happened to these people.
Right.
Just spring for the Ziploc. You got the one that doesn't even really zip. You got the stupid foldy one.
It fucking turns green, yellow, and blue make green, so you know all the radiation is inside, so it doesn't get stale, right?
Exactly. Thank you, Tom.
Tom would be a good nuclear plant worker. News of the incident was broadcast almost immediately. So about 130,000 people show up at the hospitals, pretty sure that nuclear whatnot's behind their hangnail. Now, in all, out of 130,000, about 250 people were found to be contaminated, some with radioactive residue still on their skin.
Wow. Just Blue Man Group starts projectile vomiting, but it seems like part of the show.
Yeah, it's all in rhythm.
Heath is just mad because they wouldn't let him have a marshmallow.
They have so many. Come on. Are you serious? Throw me a bone.
I'm guessing the poncho seats would be different.
Oh, God.
But not different, better. Not different, better.
And that Blue Man Troop is totally talented. They have to play those PVC pipes with like one arm, just like the Def Leppard drummer. They're just like dum, 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 dum. A lot of feet movement. They have a lot of pedals there.
lot of feet.
Yeah.
So in all, there were 4 deaths in the immediate aftermath, not the Blue Man Group, but probably an awful lot of much shorter lives that went with these 4 deaths. So obviously the little girl died. The wife who took the shit to the hospital in the baggie, she also died within a month, as did 2 employees of the scrapyard that were told by their boss to, get all the glowy stuff out that they could.
Wow. And then I'm assuming, if I'm understanding the pattern here, the girl had an open casket funeral and entire wake of people kissed her and started glowing blue and then went to Carnival and all of Brazil died in 1987.
Mom was like, it would be a waste not to eat her. It's what she would have wanted.
And we end up again at eating a Brazilian. The circle of life, guys. Circle of life.
All right, so cleanup from the incident was, of course, pretty extensive. It included removing topsoil from several sites, demolishing several houses, and painstakingly examining every object in any home where the blue glow of death had been visited. Eventually, the doctors that owned the radiology clinic were held legally liable in order to pay 100,000 Rs. Wait, whatever they use for money down there.
Well, no, it's actually called the real. It's called the real, so that's 100,000 real monies. It sounds like
Someone is worse than the Canadians. All right, so in addition, the National Nuclear Energy Commission eventually kicked in and added an additional 1.3 million Rs to guarantee medical and psychological treatment for the direct victims, the indirect victims, and their descendants down to the 3rd generation.
Jesus. So what's the opposite of a Darwin Award? I feel like
A Darwin Award.
Jesus. Well, great job, Eli. Now you summoned an evolution demon. Nicely done.
Did they earmark any of these R's, any of them, for education? Like one unit of education for anyone once at all, for anyone down there at all? Because this is the dumbest thing that never should have happened.
Right.
well, I feel like Betsy DeVos would have still made this happen somehow.
The capsule itself was seized by the Brazilian military as soon as it was discovered, and since then, the now empty capsule has been on display at the, hey, Tom, School of Specialized Instructions. They did learn their lesson in Rio de Janeiro as a memento to those who participated in the cleanup and as a reminder of the price of prolonged stupidity.
So, if you had to sum up what you've learned today in one sentence, gentlemen, what would it be?
Ryan Lochte should have just thrown a blue glow stick on the ground and then ran the other way. He would have been fine.
I learned that at that School of Specialized Instruction, for 10 reals, you can rub this thing on your genitals and see if maybe there's still just a little radioactive left.
And I learned that jokes about little girls dying from radiation poisoning are all about timing.
And how? Well, since you've consumed several hundred words on the subject, I think it's safe to say that Noah is now an expert. But in case there are any lingering doubts, are you prepared to face a gauntlet of questions from our panel?
That's my favorite kind of gauntlet. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to go first, Noah. What are the best games to play with a child that is dying from radiation poisoning? A, Half-Life 2. B, go fishing. Jesus. C, backgammon. Or D, sorry.
Well, let's face it, it's more about us than them, and watching them try to push down that bubble on sorry would be a lot of fun for everyone. I'm going to say D.
You are correct. It is sorry.
I thought he was just apologizing for A, B, and C. All right, I got one for you too. Which of the following is the most appropriate music to play at the funeral for a 6-year-old girl who died from a cesium sandwich her dad gave her?
I'm glad to see that you're not going to be untasteful the way that Cecil was.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize for mine in advance. Is the most appropriate music for this funeral A, Vanilla Isotope? Isotope, baby. Is it B, Sonny and Cher Noble? Is it C, Death Cab for Curie, Marie Curie?
Nicely done.
Or D, Dust in the Wind by Kansas. Who said we should do puns? This is fucking serious. It's a funeral. You're an asshole.
All right. Well, it can't be Vanilla Isotope because she was not white. I feel like
my God.
I feel like because it was the dust that got her, we should go. It's D, Dust in the Wind.
Correct, sir.
Oh, awesome. I'm good at this.
All right, I've got one. What would have had to have happened for us to replace the name of the Go-Go Banana incident with the week the species got stronger? Is it A, local women using the radioactive dust goo as makeup?
We pretty much got that. But yeah.
B, the town giving the radioactive dust goo the key to the city?
We don't know that didn't happen.
It's a screwdriver.
Is it C, replacing all the paste in the local kindergarten with radioactive dust goo? Or is it D, none of those things, Eli's the bad guy for some reason now?
Guys, you can't all make your questions D have the right answer. D, I mean, yeah, but it's D. It is. You are the bad guy.
That's correct. D.
All right. In addition to rubbing it all over your body, what are some other not at all crazy uses for strange glowing blue shit you pried out of a lead housing from an abandoned radiological facility? A, nothing. No, there are no good uses for that shit. Run. B, you are not running fast enough.
So
C,
far, B.
ignore the searing agony of your DNA collapsing. Run, hobble, crawl, do whatever you need to get away from this shit. Or D, you have died of dysentery.
It's D again. Jesus, how does that happen?
I think he's trying to fool me with that. I do believe that the correct answer is B, Brazilians just don't run fast enough.
We're the only podcast brave enough to say it. Come at us, Brazilians.
How sweet would it be if the SATs did just 1 year all D, just to fuck with everybody?
By 2/3 of the way through, you're just fucking sweating bullets. It can't be D again. It can't. What the fuck? God, the anxiety would be amazing. It would be fucking ruinous.
Such a good idea. You really test everybody.
All right, well, Noah, since no one was able to stump you, you're this week's winner, which means you get to take over hosting duties and decide who has to read next week's article.
All right. Well, only one person today made me think of the fact that I still never got to the end of the goddamn Oregon Trail, so I'm volunteering Tom.
And of course, also included in your victory gift bag is getting to read the answer to this week's question, but we are just releasing the show now, so instead, you get to announce the question, and next week, we'll announce the best answer to this week's question. We're sort of doing the pre-recorded call-in show thing. It'll make sense next, in the future. You'll listen to the show and you'll be like, oh, that's the, but it's the first time, so it's hard.
Everybody just think before we haven't yet given the question. Okay.
All right.
How did they know?
So our question this week is, you visit a little girl dying of radiation poisoning and bring her a doll. What should she name it?
And if you'd like to answer the question, simply retweet this episode with your answer, again, of what we're going to name the doll of the little girl with radiation poisoning, and your answer might be read on next week's episode. All right, well, for Tom, Cecil, Heath, and Noah, I'm Eli Bosnick, thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back again next week, and by then, Tom will be an expert on something else. If you'd like to hear more from us between now and then, you can hear Tom and Cecil on the Cognitive Dissonance podcast, and you can hear me, Heath, and Noah on The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and God Awful Movies, because we have more podcasts than they do. Way more. Much more. Girthier podcasts, too. But most importantly of all, if you'd like to keep this show going, you can make a per episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod. That's patreon.com/citationpod. For more information, check the show notes for handy links and join all the fun at citationpod.com.
It's just a weird grunty sounds that Eli's making.
He's violating a pillow right now. That's what's happening.
I was dancing. There was some serious dancing going on.
It's like a dog choking on a bone, like he's trying to hawk it up.
I am no longer wearing a shirt.
It's slowly backing up as it's doing.
That's a porn star throat fucking noise. That's what that is.
Minus the quack. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Someone's mascara's running. That's all I'm saying.
Is the camera on?
I'll fuck her right in the uvula.
It's the punching baggy thing, right?
It is. You score 2 points every time you touch it, so it makes a dinging sound.
I never touch it.
Neither do I.
You gotta find a girl with a tracheotomy, then you can really get things done. And then when you're done, you can put a cigarette in there and let her. Only the classiest.
Only the classiest throat fucking jokes in this.
This episode of the Citation Needed podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.